Lamps for one shelf.
Hello,
I have
everyone.
flashbacks of when I would give my kids when they were like 4 years old the phone to talk to grandma and grandpa and keep them busy for a while. And they would be walking around the house showing them all kinds of things. It looked kind of like that, Ed.
To the chair, this is H. Ham. We're now live and we're recording.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So there you go, a brief tour.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna give it a minute because it's just you and me so far that I see, Ed.
We've got Peggy as well.
Oh, yeah, Peggy? Oh, there you are, Peggy. Now I see you.
Well, if we're bored, I can actually run the train set if you would like.
Before we do that, I want to just read the remote script and get that out of the way. See if anybody joins in the meantime. Keep that one in your back pocket, though, Ed. All right, this is the February 10th, 2026 open meeting of the Hopkinton Conservation Commission being conducted remotely, consistent with an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. The new law authorizes all members of a public body to continue participating in meetings remotely. The open meeting law's requirement that a quorum of the body and the chair be physically present at the meeting location remains suspended. For this meeting, the Hopkinton Conservation Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's web meeting calendar and the Conservation Commission agenda identifying how the public may join. Additionally, the meeting may also be broadcast by HCAM through one or more of its channels or platforms. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Supporting materials that have been provided to members of the commission for this meeting are available on the town's website. This meeting will feature public comment. After commission members and staff have discussed each project application on the agenda, the chair will open the discussion to public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak are asked to identify their name and address. 3 minutes will be afforded for each public comment. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted via roll call of the members. All right, I will now confirm which commission members are present. Ed Harrow,
I'm here.
Jim Cirillo.
Here, I,
All right. Peggy Shaw.
Present.
Walter Garland.
Present.
Matt Moyen. And myself, Melissa Recos, am present. I'll now confirm staff that are present. Judy Day,
Present.
Anna Rogers,
Present.
and Joe Orzel.
Present.
Excellent. All right, so before we jump into anything, I will just note that we had one agenda item that has been continued, 15 Montana Road, notice of intent continuation. The applicant requested this be continued to February 24th, so we will not be discussing that application tonight. All right, we do not have any documents for review. So we'll talk about the draft minutes for review. We have minutes from March 11th, July 22nd, and August 19th. If anyone has any comments on those minutes or has not had enough time to review them, let us know right now. None? Okay. Thank you, Anna, for putting those together. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of March 11th, July 22nd, and August 19th, 2025?
So moved.
And can I get a second?
Second, this is Ed.
All right. All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Peggy, or you were?
I wasn't here for those meetings. Can I vote on this?
You can abstain. We have enough.
Okay, I'll abstain.
Walter, you're probably in the same boat.
I read them. Does that count?
That counts.
I agree with what's there.
Okay. And myself am an I. Great. Next up, we have Toll Brothers, 30 Wayland Street, a request for certificate of compliance. I believe we have someone on the call for this application.
That's me, Matt Ashley with Buller.
All right, welcome.
I'll repeat myself. Sorry, am I okay to give a quick presentation?
Yeah, if you can give a quick overview what we're looking at.
Absolutely. So Matt Ashley with Buller here on behalf of Toll Brothers, here to close out 30 Wayland or lot 25, depending on who you ask. And we've already gone through a review with Lucas Environmental. We went out, completed the as-built, walked the site, submitted the materials. Lucas Environmental went out afterwards, gave us some feedback on some additional items consistent with the majority of the certificate applications out here. This one, we did actually have no mowing past the PIBs starting in the summertime. So end of summer into fall, there was good growth behind all those PIBs after the notice from Toll and the commission. There was some as-built updates that went on too with the last one, which whoever was kind enough to share right here, that was largely just getting the existing tree line on here. So for you go down the road, you kind of get an idea of where it is now, a good snapshot in time. There was a report that needed to be submitted, which Judy can maybe inform you a little more on after I'm done. That was submitted by Mark from Goddard Consulting. And then the last item is one of the PIBs on the retaining wall fell off, that westerly one, or planned south on the retaining wall there. Obviously the retaining wall is there and there's ones on either side. Regardless, we went out and fixed it and then sent over the photos as of yesterday just to make sure it was still there. So those were sent over to Judy and Anna as well. Other than that, I think this one's in great shape, but happy to answer any questions or anything more specific anyone may have.
Okay, thank you. Joe, I'm gonna turn to you and see. You had a comment on a report or survival rates of plantings.
Yeah, one of my comments was that the monitoring report had not been submitted as far as I was aware.
Okay.
And that appears to have been submitted just recently with a site inspection that was occurred in January of this year. I did have a chance to look that over quickly. I think at that particular location, I mean, it's tough to do a thorough vegetative evaluation with the amount of snow on the ground right now. So I think herbaceous wise, probably can't say a lot about it, but the I know my previous observations of that location from my monitoring, construction monitoring inspections, it was growing in quite well. And I don't have any major concerns about the number of shrubs or trees or the survival. It looks like most of those plants were found. I know there were supposed to be annual monitoring reports, and I think this was just the one. So that's something for the commission to discuss. And I think all the other comments that I had were addressed. I think the only other item that maybe was for consideration was the as-built plan being revised to show the tree line, which was done. And we recommend grading within the buffer zone, but that apparently wasn't done, although that was not required under the order of conditions. So I think the plan was revised with everything except for that, for the grading. And I have no other additional comments.
Okay. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, I think if we didn't have a specific requirement for the grading, then I'm okay with what's presented here, and it sounds like based on the fall inspection, the plantings were looking good. So I'm feeling comfortable with this application. Does anyone on the commission have questions or comments? Anyone from the public? No? All right. Hearing none, then can I get a motion to approve this certificate of compliance with signatures by Judy or Anna?
So move. This is Ed.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Peggy,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye. So thank you for your work on this, Matt, and yeah, we'll
Yep.
see you in the next one.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sure I'll be back.
Yep.
Thanks all.
Okay. Next up, let's go to 2 West Elm Street violation discussion continuation. And Judy, I'm gonna ask if you can give an update on the information provided to us here.
Sure. Through the chair. Doesn't look like we have a representative on the call yet. Maybe thought they were going to be last in the meeting, but happy to give an overview. So at the January 27th meeting, the commission asked for a sketch plan showing how this was an area where there was an enforcement order issued due to unpermitted fill and disturbance in buffer zone. So requested a sketch plan showing how the area was going to be both long-term and short-term stabilized, what the erosion control locations are, and the long-term plans for the excavated area. So we have a few notes on a plan here. So the representative of the Islamic Center indicated that they would like to install gravel in the excavated areas. They've indicated where they've installed erosion controls. This is silt fence and straw wattle with these kind of solid yellow lines in the 2 areas they had fill removed and were looking disturbed. They've indicated that they would be applying a seed mix in those areas. I don't know exactly what's under the snow right now, but I think it's just unstabilized dirt. And are also proposing larger PIBs in the form of these wetland notice signs. I sent a few notes in anticipation of some things you all might want to see. So extending these PIB signs across the parking lot as the wetland does kind of extend all the way around here. I did also suggest they add a note confirming the seed mix would be consisting of native species only. And then just writing exactly what the erosion controls are, but we have yet to receive any of those edits. So I think when the commission is in a place where you're happy with this restoration plan, I think the next step is to issue another enforcement order to require that they move forward with what's on here.
Okay. I agree with everything you suggested, Judy. The native seed mix, I also agree with putting those notice signs all along the perimeter to establish that PIB with a little more emphasis. So that's great. Does anyone else on the commission have any, I guess, comments or anything else that they would like to see on this plan that we would request from the Islamic Center? I think the seed mix is appropriate too, given that it was already a disturbed area. That makes sense to me. I think we talked last time, there was no trees or anything taken down. So, okay. Yep. Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, my only concern is I'm not sure that this is really indicative of how much they're parking beyond the paved parking. I drive by there quite often, and it seems like there are cars everywhere around there. The front, the side, of course, in the back where the parking lot is, but
yeah, that's a good point. I think that was the impetus for putting the gravel in, right, Judy? They were trying to establish some more parking, I think.
As I understand it, and we do have the representative on the call now.
Okay.
But as I understand it, they wanted to stabilize. This was originally lawn that was getting ripped up, I think, from the cars, and they wanted to just stabilize it for event space, but did not specify it would be for parking.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Yes, it's not for specific parking or cars or stuff like that. It's just like this area where is the gravel right now. It's like you can see there's a door, and this door in the springtime and the summertime, all the kids go and play in this area, and most of the time it's like the water standing over there, and it's very wet, and the gravel just to help this area to be more established a little bit, especially when we have events and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think the question from the commissioners, it seems like the parking, even there's the limit of paved area, that's the designated parking area. But it seems like very frequently there are cars parked outside of that and more of the grassed area around the property.
Most of the time what is like very busy, it's in the Friday, like 1 hour at 12 p.m. That's the only time we have sometimes run out of space. Some people, they use the lawn area to park in it, but even if we have events, the parking is enough for the front of the place. But Friday is like the main prayer time. It's at 12:30 p.m. Most of the time we run out of the space, and some people, they try to use the grass out in the back and in the side sometimes.
Right. Okay. I think the concern from the commission's view, especially like in the spring when all the snow finally starts melting and you have people driving those grass areas, if it starts to get disturbed and muddy and things migrate, and because obviously everything, the grading is toward the wetland area. So we want to be sensitive to that and make sure that an issue isn't created. If that's a frequent occurrence or in certain times of the year when the ground is really wet and mucky, and we don't want to create a bad situation there.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at? Walter, do you want to expand?
Yes, I mean, this is a commercial property, I think. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how the zoning stuff works, but I think the owners or the tenants or whatever they are should petition for an increase in the parking. I mean, I personally don't care if they have a parking lot all the way around the entire thing, but they need to address the things you were talking about in terms of drainage. I know there's been so much parking all around that it's pretty much just dirt. There's really no grass left in the front of the building and even along the side. So I think there should definitely be some impetus or directional guidance to get the parking, the real parking, even if it's. I understand you're saying it's just one time on a particular day, but I live in that area. I drive by there and I see all the cars there pretty much at every time of day where they're outside of the paved parking area. I mean, I think it's to everyone's benefit. If you need more space, then just ask for it and get it paved. And so, Melissa, I'm not sure how we address that.
Well, I think what we need to do anyway, is, I guess there's two pieces. One is the enforcement order, which is to address the areas where, the stockpiles were put and the area was disturbed, which is shown with the seed mix and the erosion controls and whatnot, and putting up the PIBs, to address that specific violation that we had written the letter for. And then Judy had mentioned it in the beginning, that we probably want to write an additional, I guess it would be is it another violation letter, Judy? But in regard to the gravel that's being proposed and the trench that was dug, and we could work into that. Maybe parking, addressing some of the parking concerns.
Just for me, I maybe missed some of the notes. Just to back to the wetland where I put the notes and the stuff. Did you guys cover this part or not yet? And then we can back to the gravel.
Oh yeah, I think you might have hopped on a minute late. Sorry about that.
My fault.
So Judy explained the plan here, where you provided some additional detail in notes about the erosion controls that were put up.
Yep.
And that you're proposing that you spray seed mix.
Yes. Yep.
Once the snow melts and the season is right to do that. Judy said she provided you with a couple additional comments that we just want to make sure that is a native seed mix and that the type of seed mix is.
Yes, we're gonna use the plant species only, native plant species only. And I'm gonna share the bag when I buy it with Judy, just to make sure it's the right type.
Okay.
And I don't know, I saw these signs, I kind of like them. I was thinking to use them, to be honest with you, not just for me, for every single person, even I'm not there helping this place anymore, and somebody come else, they can see. And I was to plan to order like 6. I noticed today 6 will be enough to cover all around until from the main entrance all the way to the wetland area. And I will put 1 for each tree. It will help to make sure nobody can do any damage or can step in this area.
Okay. Yeah, we agree that we like that idea, and extending it.
Yep.
You said, all the way to the entrance would be what we want to see.
All right. Then I think we will do this plan, and when the weather gets better, when it's a good time to do the seed, I will email Judy to approve the seed type, and I will go ahead and take care of this part. For the gravel and the trench, where are we standing now? What's the next?
So the gravel in the trench, just to go back for a minute, G, we just need an updated plan, correct, with the notices on there.
I think we could also
Are you-
write into the
Condition.
enforcement order. Yeah, so we do have a note on here that says to be approved by me this
Okay.
evening. And then I can condition in the enforcement order that the wetland signs should extend through the whole parking lot. So I don't think we necessarily need, unless you would like one for the record, but I think with that language, it should be sufficient for a new enforcement order vote.
Okay. That sounds good. All right, then new enforcement order would be to address the gravel that you're proposing to put in the open trench and elaborating on, I guess, what that looks like. Is that correct, Judy? I'm just going to defer to Judy for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I would recommend is it was discussed in the last meeting for safety reasons to allow them to put gravel in the open trench.
Yeah.
So we can write into the enforcement order, that they're allowed to fill in the trench with gravel, but I might suggest saying if they want to do any additional work within the jurisdiction of the commission, that they come back with the application for a permit. It does look like they are proposing gravel. I mean, this is a really old plan, but they do have it outside the buffer zone as it's shown here. So if you're comfortable saying, it's all right if you install gravel outside of jurisdiction as it appears on this plan, or if you would like them to come back with, a new delineation, a permit application for all the work they want to do in that parking area, then I would recommend, specifying that.
Can we also issue a cease and desist on any parking outside of the paved parking until they get a permit to increase the number of parking spaces formally through the Board of Appeals? And I'm sure it'll probably come through us because of its location next to the wetland. But when I was on the Board of Appeals, we always had to approve the number of spaces that went with a commercial building. And it has to be, the parking has to be adequate for the occupancy of the planned occupancy of the building. If they have so many people in the building now that they can't park, I think that's another. If they can't park in the paved area, I think that's another issue that we need to address.
Right. Yeah, we could do that. Walter, I think that.
Oh, sorry.
It may not be as much of an issue now with 2 feet of snow on the ground, but I haven't looked at the front of it and the side of it, since we've had all the snow to see if maybe they cleared that area and are still parking there. But I think a site visit, Judy, would help now and definitely when the snow melts. Then I don't want it to go unaddressed since they were here before us, and 2 months later when the snow melts, we're having to deal with the issue. This would give them time to go through the proper permitting, special permits and so forth to do this through the Board of Appeals and Concom.
Yeah, I think the other thing we talked about, or at least Judy and I did, was updating the wetland delineation. As you mentioned, it would give a chance to do that as well. Judy mentioned there were some flags out there in the field from a recent delineation. Joel, are you familiar with those or that work?
For the marks, the blue marks, we have them in some of the wetland area.
I don't know what color they are, but
I think they were pink flags in the wetland. Yeah.
I will check with them. I think we have a new updated wetland plan. I will check with the board and try to get it from them.
Are you in the process now? I also see on this drawing a proposed addition. Is that before the the Board of Appeals?
This is a really old plan,
This
sorry.
is an old,
Oh, it's already done.
This is the only plan on record we have, so that's why we use these for the purposes
Okay.
of sketch plans. Yes, but this was originally submitted for an RDA way back in like 2005.
Okay.
Are those are the proposed additions now building or they were never built?
I believe they were built, but I can double check.
I think it would be good to at least notate that on this plan, that it's not proposed, since this is what we're working with as supposedly the existing conditions.
Yeah, so it does look like the addition was done. We don't have closeouts for RDAs, so we wouldn't have gotten like an as-built plan for this work. It's just kind of the best we had for the property. So this was on me. I sent this to Abdul to use.
But I mean, do you agree it would be good to at least notate on here what is real and what's proposed? Maybe just draw a
Yeah,
line
usually
through.
we do. If we're not agreeing with something or approving it, then it is typical to do that, as we would the wetland delineation. We're definitely not approving this line that's on the plan here. Just yeah. Does anyone else from the commission have thoughts on this one? I guess what we need to decide is whether we want to close out the violation, or we want to include some of these things we're talking about in the actual violation discussion. And if we want the updated wetland delineation on there, and like Walter said, if we want to require no parking outside of the designated parking areas, which
Through the chair.
yes, Anna.
The majority of the area outside the parking area is not jurisdictional, so that really is a zoning issue, not a commission issue.
Okay.
So I'd just be cautious cease and desisting stuff that's not in your jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a Board of Appeals question, Anna?
It
The
goes
zoning, but the
for
ZBA, I mean.
Yeah, no, it would fall under their site plan and their use of the building. So it's up to the building inspector. So we can let him know. But I think the town is well aware of the parking issues there.
Okay, well, are you aware of other areas that are doing something about it? So we don't, it sounds like you say maybe out of our jurisdiction. Do we need to concern ourselves with it? But it is being addressed.
No, I think it's beyond the scope of the enforcement issue at this point. So I think we need to move along, and, we can notify the building inspector that the commission has concerns with the property, but I think it's outside, and Abdul is not, while he's here, he is not necessarily an authorized representative of the Islamic Center. So I think, if you have further issues with commission jurisdictional stuff, then we can invite, the property owners to come in and discuss at another time.
I'm fine with just a referral to the proper area within the town.
Yeah, I think from the commission's perspective, kind of what I was saying is if we start to see issues where, parking on the lawn and this is causing the area to get disturbed, and we see it causing erosion into, our resource area, then that would be something we would
just
take
also
issue with.
to confirm, every spring we reseed the lawn in the back and we do the rotations, and we always also making sure the lawn in the back, whatever get disturbed from some cars barking into stuff, we will always make sure to fix it and take care of it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, this part is on me all the time. I have to make sure the lawn looks nice in the back and the side for looks nice also, and plus the kids can play in it and stuff.
Okay. All right. Yes, Jim.
So, Walter's pointing out that and I think rightfully, Walt is pointing out that there's not an approved number of parking spaces there. So therefore, it's difficult for us to accept what's here, knowing that someday they may have to expand the parking.
Well, I think we're just looking at, this is just a violation discussion for us and a vote for us on that. And the plan's being presented as more a graphic, I think, to show what we're agreeing that they are doing to address the violation, and has less to do with the details of the background of the plan.
Okay.
So I think in the violation write-up, Judy can say, the commission is not approving. This has nothing to do with the plan approval or anything that's used as the space plan. This discussion is for the PIBs,
For the violation, okay.
the erosion controls and the reestablishment of vegetation to address the violation only. I think
I'm not here for any parking space or.
I gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that all sounds good to me relative to the enforcement order.
Okay. Then I think, I guess just as an FYI, if you do come in in the gravel, I would include the gravel too. As you said, Judy, it's outside of our buffer zone, so it's really outside of our jurisdiction for you to be able to do that. But we can, I guess, say we're okay with it. And yeah, if you do come back to do any type of improvements or site work, know that's what we'll be looking for is updated wetland line, and stormwater management for parking. But I would encourage, while the flags are out there, if someone paid to have the area flagged.
Yes, definitely. No, definitely. And I think I told Judy, so I'm gonna check with them. They definitely did like a wetland marking, a new one. Like I think it was early last year or something. But
Okay.
I will check with them tomorrow if they have any blueprint to update it with you guys, to keep it in record, just to make sure we are on the same page with that.
Okay. That makes sense. Then I think
Through the chair.
yes, Judy.
Can I suggest maybe a timeline on when this work is done, and whether you would like anyone to come back to give the commission an update, or just to touch base with me on whether they've completed the work as approved?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we definitely want someone to come back once the work is complete and for you to take a look at it. As far as time frame goes,
I don't know, we never have a snow like this since 5-6 years. We supposed to be like we're waiting for the snow to melt a little bit, and that way we can finish it up, but I don't think we can finalize everything until like the weather is getting better. We wasn't accepting that much snow this year to be happen. I really don't know when we need it to be done as soon as possible, but with this weather, it's gonna be very hard to give you time. But I will definitely I will contact with Judy as soon as we are finished, and we're not gonna be done 100% until early spring when the weather gets better. I can put the seed and make sure the wetland looks nice and put the seed and everything. This will be definitely in the spring. But as closing the trench and put the gravel, that could be happen as soon as the snow melt.
I don't know, Judy or Joe, do you have any suggestions for how to put a timeline on something like this? Or once the snow melts, at least stabilize it within a certain time frame?
Yeah, it's tough because you don't know. I mean, the snow may melt and we may get, another storm afterwards, but I mean, you could certainly put something down if the snow melts and you get some bare ground. You could put straw out or something at least to provide some temporary stabilization until the weather turns and it looks like it's going to stay open.
That's a good suggestion. Okay, can we work that into it as well, Judy, that once the bare ground appears, regardless of the season, we put some straw or other means of stabilization down, and then
once we're
yeah,
in
once
growing
it-
season or something like that.
yeah, then they can report back.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. Can I get a motion to issue, is that a violation letter? Right up.
Enforcement order.
Enforcement order, there we go.
With signatures, yes.
With signature by Judy or Anna with the comments that and conditions that we just discussed.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, Ed?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Peggy?
Aye.
Walter?
Aye.
And myself am an aye. All right. Thanks for coming in, Abdul.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Next up, we have Town of Hopkinton, Hayden Row Loop Road. This is an RDA for repaving. All right. Let's see. I do see we have Claire and the team on the call. Do you just want to give a update on the plan set?
Sure. So for the record, Claire Hogebaum, wetland scientist with LEC Environmental Consultants. Since the last meeting with the commission, we provided a response to Lucas Environmental's peer review comments and provided the accompanying revised plan that incorporated some of the items that we discussed at the meeting, which essentially echoed what Joe had in his peer review letter. So just starting with this first sheet, the only change here was in the top of the sheet. The engineer Samiotis added a more specific note related to the stormwater infrastructure maintenance that would be done. I think it's just even further up on the top of the plan sheet there, Judy. Yes, there's the 3 boxes with notes, and that third one from on the bottom just clarifies that the only work with stormwater infrastructure would be to clean any of the catch basins before the contractor demobilizes. If we want to go to the next sheet, sheet 1.1, Joe's letter recommended, and we discussed this at the meeting, to have a note pointing between flags E11 and E13 that no work would occur within 2 feet of the resource area boundary. Onto the next sheet, 1.2. There's an add alternate at the north parking lot off of Loop Road. So Samiotis added some more detail to the anticipated work there. But as Steve Powers with Samiotis mentioned at the last meeting, this isn't formally proposed at the moment. It's when the town understands if they have additional funding to incorporate this into the project, they would go forward with it. But there's just more information on this plan in case that does go forward. And finally, the following sheet, C1.3, we just extended the M series wetland delineation with an approximate boundary. And we just had some email correspondence back and forth with Joe to confirm that this was the configuration he was expecting. So I believe that's really all that covers the plan revisions. We also tried to provide some more information with respect to the bylaw exemption. I tried to dig in a little more to see if I could find alternate means of information on the property configurations prior to the bylaw being enacted in 1995. Unfortunately, when I reached out to the assessor's office to see if they had any plans circa 1994, 1995, they said all of that information was ruined in a flood in town hall, so they didn't have anything they could provide. So with that, we're just going with what we have, which is essentially the larger parcel at 104 Hayden Row. It appears that it might be a combination of 4 or 5 lots that were combined in order to sell to the town for the purpose of constructing the school complex. 90 Hayden Row, I did dig up the deed for that parcel, and it appears that it's been in that configuration since the late 1800s. So, but regardless, 104 is the bigger parcel with most of the work here. So the applicant just continues to request the negative determination, and instead of referencing an exemption under the bylaw, the commission could select to reference the negative determination number 2. So with that, happy to pass it back to the commission for discussion.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. No reason not to do it under an RDA, I don't think. But thank you for doing the research.
Sure.
Joe, I'll just turn to you and see if you had anything to add, if you feel like your comments were addressed. I think they were.
Yeah, I think the comments have been addressed. I think Claire covered everything. The couple minor items I would point out is with regard to that add alternate location, the buffer zones don't completely cover that lot, but the wetland doesn't swing any within close proximity of that lot, but just noting that the buffer zone isn't shown to its full extent in that location. And there was the BBW forms were revised, and almost all the items were corrected. There was one minor item remaining that was missed, but like I said, I'm in agreement with the delineation, so that's a minor point at this point. And I don't think I have any other additional questions at this point.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone on the commission have questions or comments at this point? Anyone from the public? No. All right, then Judy, you don't have anything else, right?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm going to ask if I can get if anyone would like to make a motion for a negative determination applicability on this with signatures by Judy or Anna.
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thanks, Peggy. All in favor, Ed?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Peggy?
Aye.
Walter?
Aye.
And I am also an aye. All right, thank you all for sticking with us.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you all for your time and review of the project. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. We are cranking through here. Next up is Wall Street Development, 12 North Mill. This was a continuation. I am just gonna say right up front, I saw the information just came in yesterday and I've not had a time to take a look at it and review it, and I'm sure Joe hasn't either. Which I would like Joe to be able to take a look at the new plan. I did see that there was some updates for impacts during construction, so that's good, but I don't know that all the information is there and haven't had a chance to review it. So with that being said, I don't feel in a position to be voting on this tonight.
Well-
Mr. Petrozzi, with that being said,
Yeah, well,
is there anything you wanted to add?
yeah, so, well, actually, I understand that the information came in late. It took a while to communicate with our well installer to get the information. And as you may recall, during our last meeting, the commission requested a means and methods of how the well is to be installed. I think we did a protocol that really describes each aspect of the proposal with some photographs of the type of rig that would be used. It's a rubber tied machine. So I understand that you need to review that, no question. But I thought since you had a light agenda, you maybe, you wanted to see me tonight. So I figured I'd come. And so here I am. And on the revised plan, all we did was add the post and rail fence. And from the discussion with our well installer, he indicated to us that he needed a pit beyond the location of the well, which we've added to the plan, which is temporary in nature and will be restored. And we did add 2 feet of width to the access to the well location. And we did we added additional replication to the plan to keep within the 1.5 to 1. So I'm happy to continue the hearing until you've had a chance to look at it. It's really kind of, it's not really something that's complex or requires a lot of significant review. It's basically a construction sequence for the well installation in connection with these few minor revisions to the plan. So I'm happy to continue. As I said, I saw the agenda was kind of light, so it's still early enough for me to get dinner. So I'm happy to, if you have any other questions or if you think you need anything else, I'd like to be able to provide that in the time that, you're reviewing this information. So.
Okay. Now I appreciate the overview of the changes. You said it's 2 feet wider.
Yes, it's
on each side, or 2 feet?
No, just 2 feet wider.
So it's
total.
12 feet now instead of 10.
Right. We added 80 square feet of alteration and 100 and whatever 1.5 of that to the replication plan. It's a very small area, obviously. So, so that's shown on the plan. The calculations are provided, and we'll be meeting with the Board of Health again on March 2nd, I believe. They canceled their meeting in February, so we'll be meeting with them. We think that this addresses their concerns relative to the access to the well. I'm not quite sure what else you would want.
Okay. And in your write-up, the sump, you can scroll down just a little bit, Judy, to see that temporary disturbance for no other way. I guess that's up. Oh.
Well, there's 2 separate documents. One was the plan. Yeah, so they've basically needed like a 4 by 8 foot pit.
Right there.
Where the residual water spills over, and then we pump that to the siltation basin that's off towards the front of North Mill Street.
Okay.
So, Melissa?
Yes, Jim.
Through you. So, Lou, what's shown on the plan as a temporary siltation basin, I think it says, is the sump pit, or it is not?
No, the sump pit is up behind the well location.
Oh, okay. It's really small. I think I see it.
If you saw looked at the photograph of the rig, I mean, the rig is really just one little
Yeah, I know
drill,
what they are.
the drill rig is only like 6 inches. You know, it's a diameter pipe 6 inches in the ground and it goes straight in. But as you're drilling, you know, you're going to get some stuff that's going to come out of the hole, and so that goes into this pit where we would mixed with water that would get pumped out and into that basin in the front of the lot.
Okay. And you'll use a trash pump or something with a hose to get it to the siltation area.
Yeah, it's roughly about 100 feet. That area is 40 feet deep where the drill rig is, and so it's probably another 40 feet or 50 feet to the basin. And so it's not a great distance. It's not a great distance. It's not a.
Okay, thank you.
Judy, could you either drop in the file or send around to the commission the standard conditions for well that we include with well drilling to review as we look at the means and methods?
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. I was going to ask for that. It's great.
Yeah,
thank you.
If you could send them to me too, that would be nice too.
Yep, can do.
Through the chair, this is Ed.
Yes, Ed.
My only question is, in the case of future work needing to be done on this well, is there access after the house is built, etc., to do the work?
Yes, on the site plan, we flattened out the area on the left side of the house so that you can drive a vehicle back there. So essentially where the wetland filling is, that purple area there, that's flat, basically flat. You can drive a pickup truck and whatever type of vehicle you need to the back of the house. Generally speaking, when you have a well, you probably know this, but usually a pump may need to be replaced, and that's just a pickup truck that would be used to back into that area and place a new pump. It's not, I don't know that a failure of the pump to produce sufficient water would ever be effective in this area. This is in a resource area, so it's not likely that the well would ever need to be replaced. Just typical maintenance with a pump, a pump to pump the water out. That's basically what's maintained. But and usually they do that with a pickup truck. A couple of guys go out there and they lift the pump out and they put a new pump in.
Yeah, that's not my concern. I believe there have been cases in Hopkinton where wells had to be redone and drilled deeper. So my concern is, can you get a well drilling rig in there once the house is built?
Yeah, well, I think we can. I mean, the well installer, Richardson Wells, they tell me that there's not a problem to drive a rig back there. It's going to be relatively flat. And usually, I mean, they drive their rigs over undisturbed land. I mean, just all it needs to be is cleared from any brush or stumps or anything like that. But this will be easier access because it'll be a prepared pad that will be grassed over, so they'll be able to drive over it just like it was a unpaved driveway.
Okay. Does anyone else on the commission have questions while we have Mr. Petrozzi here looking at this? Anyone from the public have questions or comments at this point?
Through the chair.
Yes, Judy.
I just had a couple of outstanding notes. So we have not had anything sent to Joe because we are out of consultant fee from the applicant's initial payment. So I would just note that the second scope that I sent over from Lucas Environmental needs to be paid before the commission has anything additional peer reviewed. I would also note that in the last meeting, the commission discussed needing a new Form 3 outlining the proposed alteration and replication amounts. And it had also been mentioned that the well drilling and maintenance protocol should be prepared by a professional well drilling company, which doesn't appear to have been the case. So those are just my notes.
Okay. Thanks, Judy. Mr. Pedrosi, do you have any issue with providing those requests?
How much extra peer review are we talking about here?
I did send you the scope. I believe it's $1,800 is the estimate for additional peer review.
$1,800 to review a post and rail fence, and what else is he reviewing?
The exact items are on the scope I sent over.
Oh, I didn't. When did you send that? Today or?
It was this afternoon. Yes.
Oh, I may not have seen it. I'll look at it and we can talk about it tomorrow. But okay. I think $1,800 is a little bit overkill. So, well, we can discuss the scope tomorrow, I guess.
Okay.
And as far as the, as I think I mentioned during the last meeting, the revision of the form, I think, I have no problems in providing that, but when I do provide that, that would imply that I've abandoned the prospects for the original notice of intent, which was a limited project to do one of two things: a house in the front, septic in the back, or well in the back and septic in the front and house in the front. So, I'd rather not provide that until we've decided that the commission likes this plan as the alternative to moving forward, rather than have to withdraw that and refile again if the commission decides not to approve this plan. So, I mean, I think that's only fair that we get some indication. We've been banting about this plan for the last several months, and I've not gotten any. The commission's been receptive to the idea, but I haven't got any kind of an indication that this is that the commission would issue an order of conditions for this plan. So, what was the third thing, Judy, that you wanted?
Well, I think if we just stick on the forms for a minute, I don't believe that the commission can vote without having the paperwork filled out to indicate what we're voting for, because we can't vote for two plans.
Okay.
We can only vote for one plan and the paperwork that goes with it.
So can I ask a question then? If I did do that, do you folks still have your reconsideration in your regulations?
We do. We've done that in the past. If something doesn't pass, you can ask at that meeting for reconsideration, but you do need to, and you would need to come back with a substantially different, something different about it, which it sounds like would be very different if you come back with a different one, obviously.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, well, I'll give some thought to that, and then, that's a simple, there's only a couple of things that have changed there, and so what was the third thing, Judy?
Well drilling protocol to be prepared by well drilling company. I think it was addressed from Wall Street Development.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Florida, and we had numerous conversations before he left. I mean, I can just take that and put it on his stationery if that's what you want. So it's nothing. I mean, when you get a chance to read it, you'll know that it didn't come from me, other than the fact that I typed it out.
Okay, if for the record, since you have a couple weeks, if you could get it on.
Yeah, I'll do that for you. Okay, thank you very much.
Yep, thanks for coming.
When's your next meeting? When can we continue this? February 20 something?
February 24th. Is that
okay? All right, let's see if we can do that, and then hopefully we can get to the end. And Judy, I'll talk to you tomorrow about the peer review.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a motion to continue this out to February 24th?
Through the chair.
That's both of them, too.
Oh, both of them. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I knew you were saying that, Anna.
Can I get a motion? Okay. Thanks, Jim. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thanks, Peggy. All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Peggy,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye.
Great. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. We got through all of our items in an hour. Good job.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so if everybody has a few minutes for conservation minute, Judy wanted to talk about regulations a little bit, and particularly the trees and our next steps.
Sure. So I've been slowly plugging away on the regs revisions. I think a big piece of that puzzle is going to be writing down what the commission's tree replacement policy and preferred kind of restoration policy is going to be, since that's something we've been hearing that folks want. What I did do is I kind of put together a little survey that just kind of gets at what you'd want this tree replacement policy to look like, what you wanted to consider, and pulled ideas from other towns that Melissa has sent me that I found through my research. So I can send that out tomorrow morning and maybe just before the next meeting, if everybody could fill out that survey and start thinking about when we get these filings that are, requesting to remove a couple of trees or requesting to clear the whole lot, what you really want to see on a regular basis be referred to for restoration. So I can send that out. It kind of just to get a finger on the pulse of what you want that restoration policy to include. And then once we have an idea of what it should include, I can throw out some examples and see what folks want to settle on. So, I'm happy to go into any more detail, but I think the best thing to do is just to start with a survey and see the results from that and go from there, if that works with you, Melissa.
Yeah, I think so. Judy, are you envisioning, like, just for example, that some of the questions would be, like, do we want to replace based on diameter or tree number? Is that like the type of
I can actually
thing you're envisioning?
Pull it right up. So
Okay.
whether you think we should have a formal tree policy in the regs, this is kind of the big ticket question. What should the replacement requirements be based on? So number of trees, regardless of their size. If you want a combination of size and number. So if mature trees, for example, should be weighted higher and saplings lower when you're asking for replacement numbers. We also saw some towns do area, so square footage of impacted area equates to the amount that needs to be replanted. So that might be good for, non-tree vegetation if there's clearing that isn't necessarily impacting trees to get something back in those situations. So once we have a sense for what commissioners want that to include, I think at that point we can start talking about numbers. But I think starting with how you want to start calculating replacements would be a good jumping off point. And then other elements, these are just fun things I saw other towns do. So whatever you think would be valuable to include. Once we have kind of a checklist of what you want in there, I can start proposing language. And then I think I also have in there the adoption of a tree mitigation fund for applicants who can't fully meet replacement requirements due to space limitations or other things. So this is something Melissa and I and Anna have been talking about, looking into the process for setting up a revolving fund with the town to get at that last bit that, maybe someone's clearing a lot but doesn't have the space to replace everything that would be required under the tree replacement policy. If they can pay into a fund where then the town can make use of that funding for planting on public land. So if you are interested in that, I'm happy to get the ball rolling on it. I think that's really the meat of it. I think if that's a good place to start, and then we dive into the actual numbers, but happy to hear any suggestions.
Yeah, I think the timing's good on this since we had so many discussions on this in the last meeting. in different scenarios for replacements and violations and what we do there. And I really hope that trying to find ways to speed up our not speed up our meetings, but not spend so much time talking on these things over and over again, that, you know, we can streamline a little better. Does anybody have any thoughts or anything to add or anything to request that Judy include when she's polling the group? Even outside of trees, if there's something else, I guess we could throw more questions in here if you want, if we want to focus on something besides trees, but I think trees were kind of like the hot topic lately.
So this is Ed. I guess my question would be, do we want to be specific to the type of tree? In other words, if it's an oak tree that's been taken down, do we want to specify that an oak tree replaces it?
Sure.
Yep.
Great question.
Yes. I'm not sure who said that.
Joe.
Joe. Okay.
I know there are some commissions that do have kind of a requirement for an ecologically equivalent type of tree to replace what's being taken. So that might be something to consider.
Would that be a hardwood versus softwood kind of thing, or more specific than that?
It could be hardwood, softwood, but more specific, like if you're taking out an oak, a large oak, there's mast production for the oak. So maybe you want to replace it with something that also produces a mast crop for wildlife habitat value.
Okay. And evergreen versus deciduous too.
Yeah, correct.
Right. All right, Melissa, I just want to add that not only have trees been a big topic lately, but also we still seem to have things about lakefront property, where there's still issues that we talk about a lot with applicants for what they can do and not do and what our expectations are. So, and I admit I have not read all of what Judy and Ann have sent out, but I will. And, I don't know if there's anything that ties that down, but
yeah, I think there were some things maybe that were highlighted. Correct me, it's been a little while, Judy, since I read, but did we highlight in that list just mitigation or restoration in general? So not speaking about trees or plantings, but speaking about areas that require restoration.
Yeah, I guess not necessarily general. I think that might be a good space for a non-tree vegetation in a replacement policy, but I do have a sizable new section proposed to give you a sneak peek. Let's see. There we go. So a new section around restoration, planting, and landscaping, just broadly. So this is where the tree removal policy would go, a section on removal of other types of vegetation. And then I do have in here lakeshore landscaping, so referencing to that guide that we use, other types of mitigation that would be appropriate in a lakefront application. And then I've been working with LMPA on adding state fertilizer restrictions, specifically with phosphorus, into the regs. So I have a reference to the new state law as well as just general harmful effects of phosphorus and nitrogen in fertilizers. So if there's anything else you would like to see in here, I am happy to take suggestions.
Judy, this is Ed. Judy?
Yep. Yes, Ed.
The fertilizer issue, is this go beyond lakefront? So does this more watershed too?
Definitely, yes. So I can word it to be more encompassing of not just the lakeshore applications. I just thought it'd be easier to enforce in the situations where you have, lawns right up to the lake, just having that be an easy thing in your pocket to say this section of the regs, you can't use that types of fertilizer, but I can definitely word it to be more of a watershed based.
I'll try to do both.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be interested if commission members are maybe this is for the poll. I've seen in some of the documents, at least one or two that I've sent over, examples where there's been a specific buffer along rivers, streams, lakes, basically, water bodies, and it gives that kind of like we have a vernal pool buffer, but it creates a specific buffer along those type of areas where we can have certain requirements, which I think fits with the lakeshore landscaping. So maybe within that buffer area, you can't, it gives a different threshold for what you can do in that area and how it needs to be restored or how much you need to maintain, regardless of the no build zone or the no disturbance zone. It kind of gives another zone, to restrict specifically for the water quality piece.
And I'm thinking specifically of the issues that have gone on the westerly side of Lake Whitehall that Kim Sierra McCauley and Kerry Reed put together the study for the Longwood drainage, which I've been harassing the state about, and they've been slow about coming up with something. But the study that was done showed that the technology exists to deal with phosphorus, but it would seem to me the better thing would be to attempt to eliminate the use of nitrogen and phosphorus bearing fertilizers within, I'll say, the immediate watershed of water bodies.
Yeah, I think the benefit too of having it in the regs, LMPA is doing a lot of outreach this year about fertilizer reduction, and I think having local regulations citing that state law and those restrictions, I think will be a powerful tool for them, just seeing the commission backing the things that they're conducting outreach about. So it's definitely a group effort.
Yeah, so you're talking, Ed, like, so if you have properties that have where their drainage directly discharges to a lake or a water body, basically.
Yes.
Kind of putting a specific requirement in there or a specific, yeah, okay.
It might be as simple. That's a bad choice of words. Not that there is a drainage system that picks up these fertilizer agents and delivers them through a storm drainage system into a water body.
Yep. Judy, have you seen the watershed protection standards? I just have started to see this advertised in like some webinars, and I think it was UNH put it together, but it's based on regulations and smart growth and basically taking stormwater management like up a notch, because they were acknowledging that the current stormwater standards for development are not enough to protect water quality. I mean, I think it's kind of a no-brainer for everybody in this room probably, but there might be some resources in there too that we want to look at. It's the watershed production standard, WPS.
Take a look at that.
I think it's on, if you go to the SNAP, if you're familiar with SNAP, I think you can get there through their website.
Oh yeah, there it is.
What's SNAP? What's SNAP?
SNEP is it Southern New England?
Oh gosh.
Oh, that. Oh, I misunderstood you. All right, thank you. Yeah, I know who that is. I thought you said SNAP.
Yeah, no, SNAP.
Snapper.
Yeah.
This is what it is. That's the standard. All right, that's a good find.
All right. Anybody have anything else? All right.
Thanks for the
None.
feedback.
What was that, Judy?
Thanks for the feedback. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Helpful. We haven't had time to talk about anything fun lately, so
Thank you for doing all that, Judy.
yeah.
This is the fun work. Yep.
So, Melissa, it's really kind of early, but are you looking for a motion to adjourn?
I am.
You know, it's only 8:20, right?
I know. It feels like we're missing something.
It feels like we're missing a lot. I think we need to go for at least another hour.
Well, the other thing I was thinking about is that, I mean, obviously we were really off balance. I don't know, Judy or Joe, have you seen commissions that cap their number of items on an agenda? You know, like once you get to 8 or something like that, then people have to go to the next meeting.
I haven't seen that, but I know some towns do time restrictions on presentations. But Joe, you're probably in a ton of these.
Yeah, time restrictions, yes. I don't know if you can cap the number because if you get the application in on time, you'll have the time requirements for the hearing.
I mean, it is kind of rare that I can't recall going over 10 o'clock.
It was extreme.
At all. That was extreme. And usually we're able to get things done by 10, which would be the sort of traditional ed time. But we could put, we could put 7 to 10 on our agenda. If that helps anybody.
All right, we'll watch for that.
I think we sometimes need to get our applicants to, I don't know, be briefer, or it's not the consultants, they're all pretty spot on, but an applicant themselves from carrying on for too long. You know,
no, I think it tends to be the work session items a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But we just need to, I don't know, I mean, if you look at a giant agenda, a really full agenda, we can tell if it's going to go really late.
Yeah, I might.
Chair?
Yes, Anna.
When I first started, the commission used to meet 3 times a month. There were 2 meetings for hearings and 1 meeting just for work session. So we don't want to go back to that. So.
Oh, that's got to be before my time even. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't. Wow.
But yeah, and there were regularly, and every meeting would go till 10 o'clock at least. So.
Well, but I mean, maybe we can start the hearings sooner and leave the work session items behind until the end. Would that help? Not really, huh? On some of it wouldn't, would it?
Maybe not. I might ask for a volunteer or volunteer someone to be a timer at some point. Because it's hard to keep track of time.
Do I get a whistle?
I was going to say that's
Can I get a whistle?
Ted.
That's well.
Well, Ted's not here, so we can certainly volunteer him.
Oh, we have to, right?
We can even vote on it right now.
Yeah, I make a motion that Ted be the timekeeper for future meetings. Ed seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
It'll be Ted's role.
That's the rule, though. If you don't show up for a meeting, you have to get some extra assignment.
All right. Awesome. Let's get the
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor? Ed?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Peggy?
Aye.
Walter?
Aye.
And I am also an aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Yeah.